Culture swap.
Swap my culture.
Thank you very much. Amanda told us to watch the first season of Gilmore Girls, and I'm so pleased she did. If you haven't seen the first season of Gilmore Girls, fix that. It's on Netflix. It's brilliant. There's going to be spoilers.
Yeah, there are.
But only for season 1. Amanda, please don't spoil anything that happens
No. I kept thinking as I was rewatching season 1, like, I have to be so careful what I'm going to say.
Yes. Because I'm so excited to start season 2 later.
Yeah. Yep.
So, a kind of quick plot synopsis of Gilmore Girls. It's set in this adorable little place called Stars Hollow, and it's about a mother and a daughter, and they have like quite a kind of special relationship. Is that a fair way of saying it?
Yeah, I mean they're pals as well as mother and daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's kind of just about their lives and how they kind of cope with shit, and it's brilliant, and that's the synopsis. Let's start with like Amanda discussing why she recommended it, and then we'll kind of dig into it, the show itself.
So I recommended this one. You had asked me to come back on the podcast, and not for a particular thing. You were like, recommend something.
Yeah, just for our 50th anniversary special.
Yeah. Our well-planned 50th anniversary special.
Yeah.
And Gilmore Girls is probably my all-time favorite television show. I have watched it probably just slightly more than I've watched Buffy.
Okay.
And I thought that you guys would enjoy it. Like, whenever I recommend something to you, I'm not like, you will hate this, because that's mean, and you're my friends, and I don't want to be mean to you. So, I love Gilmore Girls so much. It's one of my favorite, it's my favorite TV show, but it's also like one of my favorite things. And if I've like had a rough day or a rough time, sometimes I'll just put on Gilmore Girls, and it's just like soothing. And there have been years of my life that I've fallen asleep watching or listening to Gilmore Girls. And it's also like, it's kind of a big deal with my family. My mom and I have a very similar relationship to Rory and Lorelai.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, I'm a little bit obsessed with Gilmore Girls. Like when the new episodes, like Gilmore Girls A Year in a Life came out, I stayed up late until it aired, starting at 3 a.m. with my mom and sisters, and we watched it all. And then I went home and I took a nap, and then I watched all of it again with my mother-in-law.
Are they planning to do any more, or are they just like, that's it, we're done now?
Oh, that's all. That could be a whole conversation on itself.
Okay. I'll step back from that until I've seen...
Yeah, because...
Until I'm all caught up.
Yeah, because I don't want to... Like, there's so much that goes on in the next, like, 7 seasons, you know?
Yeah.
Between the end of that, but...
I mean, it would be weird if it was your favourite show and you were like, but to be honest, season 1's where it all happens, and then the next 6 seasons are just them sort of being like, oh, everything's fine.
Yeah. Like, my history with the show is I was aware of it being on TV, like, here and there, but I never properly sat down and watched it, which is, I think, I had, like, an inkling that it was my sort of show, but also, because of that, I didn't want to just jump in midway through. I wanted to watch it from the beginning all the way through, and you recommending it was just the perfect excuse to finally start doing that.
Okay, and I do want to say, like, thank you so much for actually watching all of season 1, both of you, because I know that's so unusual for you guys.
I think
we broke our rule.
I think we should start doing it more, because...
Yeah.
Actually, no, fuck, I'm going to regret saying that when you start making me watch fucking anime bullshit. Ignore that.
Man, can you imagine if I hadn't made you watch Attack on Titan and we had to do the whole thing?
Oh, I just struggled so much.
Anyway, yeah, no, this show has been awesome to watch. Like, there wasn't a point where I was like, God, I wish that I wasn't watching the entire first season for this episode.
Yeah, same.
Oh, yay. Yay.
I think if we'd have had to stop at 6, I'd have struggled.
Yeah, I mean, Liam had to time his out so that he finished...
I watched,
was it yesterday or the day
before? Yeah, the
before?
last one yesterday. I was watching, I think, 2 or 3 a day, and then I realised, oh shit, there's a week until we record, and I've got 6 episodes left, so I had to space them out.
I had to do the same thing, and even then it was a struggle. I had 3 episodes left to watch over the weekend, and I had to stop myself on Saturday so that I would have one to watch yesterday.
Yeah.
Was it really hard to not just hit like next episode when it came up, like season 2, episode 1?
Oh,
Hard,
I didn't realise. I was watching on Netflix, and I didn't even... I like, my brain realised it had ended, but part of my brain was just like, no, it hasn't ended. So I just carried on watching, and I watched about 30 seconds of season 2, and I was like, no, wait, what's this? No, this is the wrong thing.
It's so good, though.
I'm so glad you guys liked it. So, okay, so because I'm just a total giant, like, Gilmore Girls nerd, so who are your favorite characters?
I think we both agree Luke.
Yeah. Luke, okay,
obviously.
So let's just start off by saying Luke and Lorelai just need to have some sex already.
No, they don't need to have sex, they need to get married.
Well, let's do the sex first, and then they can get married.
No, I just want them to be married and happy.
That's
all I want.
I want him to take her on the counter of the diner.
Okay, well.
I'm very specific about this.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, Luke's brilliant. So the first character that I just fell in love with immediately was Michelle.
Yes, I love Michelle.
Yeah, so like the first kind of maybe 2 or 3 episodes, I was like, he's my favourite, until they kind of developed Luke a lot more. And then the turning point for me with Luke, and you know, we've warned that there's spoilers, so here's going to be one. After the 3-month anniversary and consequently the breakup, when Luke first sees Dean, his reaction, I was just like, Luke's my favourite.
Oh my god, and they're tussling outside.
Yep.
It's so wonderful.
I love that scene so much.
And I love how Lorelai's in the diner and you can see them fighting outside. And she's like, no, everybody's going to be fine. Don't worry about it, Rory. It's good. And then she's like, what the hell? And like, up and running out.
So good. I also really like the way they developed the grandparents and that whole dynamic and relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's in either the last episode or the second to last episode where you get a I've always known that it's gonna go the way of, like, clearly Emily likes Lorelai and is upset that Lorelai left them.
Yeah.
And you really get that in that episode where she's trying to convince the great grandma not to give Rory money. And there's just a moment where she's like, if Rory takes the money, Lorelai will never come here again. And you're like, oh. And Lorelai just thinks that she's doing it to be a bitch. And you're like, no, she just loves you and doesn't want you to leave again.
Yeah.
I feel like Lorelai took losing her daughter $250,000 remarkably well.
I really like that scene where she just goes, you lost $250,000 today.
Yeah, I would not have taken that so well.
No.
I mean, yes. But at the same time, at least it wasn't like, and there's no more tuition for...
Yes.
Yeah.
And I don't know that it's so much that it's lost as much as the trust...
She's getting it at 25?
Yeah, the trust will come about later on. It's just not happening now.
One of the things that made me really sad, because again, I was loving the way that they were developing the relationship, especially between Lorelai and her parents. And then the episode where they're setting Lorelai up with like a potential suitor.
Yeah.
It kind of oh wait, hang on. Maybe I'm getting myself confused with episodes.
Are you
Sorry,
are you going to say
it's the episode, sorry, I got myself confused. It's the episode where Rory's dad comes over for dinner, okay? And they invite his parents as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they're kind of like slating Lorelai, and then her dad sticks up for her. I loved that because I was like, we haven't really seen them show a lot of affection towards each other. Like, he's very affectionate towards Rory, but not so much Lorelai. So I like that. And then I was just absolutely heartbroken when later on he was like, it wasn't necessarily a personal thing. It was just the Gilmore name was being dragged through the mud, and I can't allow that.
Yeah, he's like, I still don't forgive you for walking out on us.
Yeah. Oh, that made me so sad.
Yeah, that is really sad. It's that I had the same feeling in the episode where he gets hospitalized, and there's a scene where they are about to have a moment, and then everyone else walks in, and they never have it. And I was like, oh, okay, she's going to go back in a minute, and we'll get that conversation. And you don't.
Watched that episode so many times, and it always makes me cry, and it makes me cry more now because the actor who plays Richard, Edward Herman, has passed away, and because I've also, since the first time I watched it, I've experienced family members and friends who have had like heart attacks, and so like that moment where they're just looking at each other and they both have tears in their eyes.
Yeah.
And it's the missed opportunity. Oh my God, it guts me every time.
It's so good. That's one of the relationships that I'm most looking forward to seeing more of in like future seasons. Mm-hmm. Also, what I didn't realise is Edward Herman, who plays him, like you said, one morning I watched, it was like after midnight, so I guess technically, I started watching Lost Boys, and he shows up in that, and I was like, oh, I totally didn't realise that he was in this movie.
Oh, I've actually never seen The Lost Boys.
It's good. Again, it's another horror that I think you could probably handle.
I've heard I could handle that one. At this point, I'm kind of like maybe holding it for like a Halloween coming up at some point. Yeah.
Hey, it's Halloween in like 2 weeks' time. Perfect excuse.
True.
But yeah, Jack, are there any other characters that you're particularly fond of?
Well, are there more that you've got? Because I've got one that I'm going to say and you're going to disagree with. So...
Who?
Dean.
Oh, fuck off, you.
Yeah. For some reason, Liam hates Dean.
No, I don't hate Dean. I like Dean as a character.
Hate Dean. No, you hate him.
He should not be
hate
with
him,
Rory.
Liam. They're perfect for each other.
They're not. They're so not perfect for each other. It's ridiculous how not perfect for each other they are.
Oh, I have so many opinions, but it involves season 2. So I will just say I am team someone else.
Please don't let it be Chad Michael Murray's character, Tristan.
Oh, fuck Tristan.
Good.
Yeah, no, his whole character arc is really weird. Like, there was a moment where I was like, oh, maybe his character's turning a corner, and then he didn't.
Oh my God, when he says, oh, I don't even want to see this PJ Harvey guy, I'm just like, oh, fuck you.
Yeah.
Like...
Yeah.
How did...
Yeah, there's...
You should have looked up who PJ Harvey is buying the tickets. She's a brilliant singer. Key on the she. Yeah.
Also, he's such a dick to Paris as well. And,
Yeah.
I like Paris. Like, it's so annoying that the friendship that she has with Rory keeps getting not even sabotaged, just, like, broken in stupid ways that's no one's fault.
They've got to end up as friends, though. Like, they have to eventually just cut through the bullshit and be like, oh, we should be friends.
I love Paris.
She's so good.
She has, like, a real serious case of RBF, though.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I love when Paris comes over to get help for, like, dressing for the date.
Yeah.
And my other, possibly my favorite Paris moment in this is when they're at the Bangles concert.
Yeah.
And you see her, like, and she's like, this is the best night I've ever had. And it's like, she has these quote-unquote friends who are willing to leave her behind for Brandon Routh and his friend. And which I was like, hey, that's Brandon Routh. Every time I rewatch...
I had the exact same reaction.
I don't know who that is.
He
played Superman.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and now he's in, like, DC's Legends of Tomorrow or something like that.
Yeah, he was in Scott Pilgrim as well.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, is that him?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Which every time I watch this show, there's always, like, somebody else that I'm like, hey, like, every time in the hospital episode, I'm like, Jane Lynch!
Yeah, I noticed that.
I saw her and was like, oh, to be fair, for someone that doesn't know many actors and actresses, like, I was surprised by the amount of people I saw in this. Like the fact that Dean is Sam Winchester from Supernatural.
Yes.
But, like, super young. And I was like, what the hell?
Uh-huh.
I love that Sean Gunn just appears as, like... in season 1, I don't know if it's going to change, but he's pretty much a background character.
Oh my God, Kirk.
He's so good.
He's just there for the jokes.
Oh, he's brilliant. The scene when they're trying to watch a movie and he's just sat behind them, like, telling them to quiet down.
And then the Nickelodeon song plays.
Yeah.
he's like, yeah, his cell phone. I also love when Rory calls him daddy when they're playing 1, 2, 3.
Yes, that's also great.
Okay, sorry, this is like going forward, but is there any way like I can check in with you guys as you watch each season? Because
Oh, yeah.
I would love to like check in every now and then with you just to hear like your reactions to each season.
Yeah, I'm sure
we need to do
can
like
that.
we'll do like an extra bit to housekeeping that is Amanda checking in on how we are with Gilmore Girls.
I would totally do that.
So let's just cycle back to the whole Dean and Rory thing. Because
Yes.
Jack's wrong. Right. So I tweeted you saying that me and Jack had already had an argument about
Yes.
it.
What is this argument?
Right. It is all centered around that episode, which is the 3-month anniversary, and then their breakup. Okay.
Okay.
I think me and Jack watched different episodes, basically.
I think you're going to misrepresent what I said.
No,
I'm
I'm not going to say what you said. I'm going to let you say what you said. I'm just going to say
Okay.
the episode I watched, what I saw, is I saw Dean, who took Rory out for a meal that he paid for. It was lovely, romantic, and a totally acceptable thing to do on a 3-month anniversary. Then I saw him take her to a car that he was building for her, which, fair enough, young love, he has a lot of time on his hands, whatever. But then, after being like, here's all these things I've done for you, oh, by the way, I love you, and then after kind of being put on the spot like that, and also what looked to me as if like almost trying to buy her love, when she kind of froze and didn't quite know how to respond and didn't want to kind of respond to knee-jerky or whatever, he just completely flipped and was an absolute dick. And that's when I got off the Rory and Dean train, because I just, she's too good for him.
I disagree, because I don't think that he was trying to buy her love. It didn't feel to me like he'd planned to say I love you to her. It felt like a spur of the moment, like they're having this beautiful evening. Shut up! I let you make your point. You shut your damn mouth. So I don't think it was that. I also don't think that Rory didn't want to say it because she didn't want a knee-jerk reaction. I don't think Rory could say it because she's terrified of commitment, which they then talk about later, Liam, so you can go fuck yourself, I'm right.
They talk about that in the very last episode, and I was so disappointed when they did, because I was like, oh, good, this is just more fuel for Jack's fire. Doesn't mean you're right.
Exactly. It does mean I'm right.
No, it doesn't.
No. So my whole point was, I think we agree on the fact that they were both, like, I said after that, I get why they both did each thing. I think that's the thing. You don't agree with what Dean did, but I can see
he reacted so
both
badly
sides
to
of
that.
it. He did, but so did Rory, because instead of being like, oh, this is too soon, whatever, just anything, she just freezes and is like, I don't want to say that to you.
Okay,
I almost feel like
she freezes.
saying-
Amanda's making a point.
She freezes, but she also says like that's a really big thing to say, and he freaks out.
Yeah.
I feel like I like I don't know, my feelings on that kind of straddle both of your points. Like, I don't think he's trying to buy her love. I think he's 16 and just like puppy dog in love.
Yeah.
And I do think like his I love you is a genuine like moment. However, I think his reaction to her not saying it back instantly, and because he's like, you can't even say you love me, it's like, okay, first of all, that's the kind of argument you have when someone has said it and then refuses to say it later. Like, that's where you go, you can't even say you love me. Or if it's like, you will only say it in private, but if it's in front of family members, you won't say it. That is when that's a valid argument in a relationship. But at 3 months, when you're 16 and you're saying I love you for the first time, and she just is sort of like overwhelmed, and if you know Rory at all, I mean, come on, you kissed her and she said thank you and ran away with cornstarch. So like stole cornstarch.
Yeah.
Like, so yeah, it's going to take her time. Like, it took him going like, I'm going to back off because I don't think you're interested in me, and her being like, no, wait, I am. So yeah, she takes time to process stuff, and then him just like flipping out and like, why can't you even say this? And then that like causing him to break up with her. I feel like it is a wild overreaction. to her reaction.
Do you want to know the funny thing, Amanda?
Sure.
When me and Liam had this argument and fell out, I think both of us, I think I said to Liam, well, Amanda's probably going to come in and take the middle ground and tell us that we're both wrong. And Liam went, most likely, yes.
Also, I want to just be clear, like, I'm not saying he was deliberately trying to buy her love. I'm just saying I could see, like, if I was in her kind of shoes, it might make me feel like that.
I don't think that is what she says. Like, being reasonable and not overreacting as I want to do. I genuinely don't think that that's what her issue was with that.
No.
But I mean, I can see your point of, like, feeling that way. I mean, she also, you know, like, at her birthday party earlier on in the season, she's dealt with, like, her grandparents trying to essentially, like, buy her love by throwing this giant party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's a valid thing, like, in her world, that is a thing that has happened in her life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I just... they're just not right for each other, and he needs to...
Oh, no, they're probably not going to end up with each other.
They shouldn't. They really shouldn't.
I mean, I think Dean, that early on in this season, he makes for, like, a very, for the most part, like, very good, sweet...
Yes.
First boyfriend. But I do think that he has some anger issues.
Yeah.
Because you see the way, like, he reacts with Tristan at the dance.
Yeah.
Yeah, he threatened to kill him.
Yes. Which, again, it's like, oh, like, he's being sweet with Rory at the dance, but also, like, his reluctance to go to the dance at all is a little like, hey, man, come on now. Like, you guys are fucking 16. Like, of course there's going to be dances. And then, so you have his sort of, like, you know, oh yeah, I'm so into you, Rory, and, like, I've watched you read books and everything, but as soon as you ask me to do something that's not in my world in Stars Hollow, I'm a little weird about it. And then I get mad at Tristan. And then I also feel like the Donna Reed episode, like, I think it's fun, and I like that you learn the stuff about, like, Donna Reed, like, being sort of a pioneer in television history and stuff.
Yeah.
And I feel like part of that is, like, Amy Sherman-Palladino, the creator of Gilmore Girls, sort of being like, hey, look, like, women are in television and can create television and have, like, major parts in, you know, this creative world. But also, I feel like he has some very antiquated views on women.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That was the episode where I was like, oh, okay, Dean's not the greatest guy in the world, was that episode.
My favourite thing about that episode, though...
broken.
Yeah. Like, he's a dick in that episode, but my favourite thing is when Lorelai sees Rory all dressed up.
Yes.
That's just... Oh, love that bit so much.
I like how you see both guys taking the trash out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing here? What are you doing here? All of the interactions with Luke and Dean are fun. Whether it's like that or, like you said, the brawl in the street, but also, like, that they're on some sort of, like, softball league together. Like, it's just...
Yes.
I just love it.
Yeah, no, any scene with Luke in it is a great scene.
Yeah.
Oh, what do you think about the pissing match between Luke and Max in, like...
That was a bit uncomfortable.
That final episode.
I only found it uncomfortable because I so badly want Luke to end up with Lorelai that I was like, get the fuck out of here, Max. I wish that scene had been, he sees Luke and just goes, oh, I'm leaving forever.
But here's the thing, right? Like, yeah, that's how it should be, but I feel like Luke came across really badly to Lorelai in that scene as well.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
she was
definitely
not impressed. So I felt sad because I was like, well, no, you're kind of... This isn't helping you. Stop.
Yeah, but it's because Rachel had just literally, like, broken up with him because she was like, you clearly love Lorelai.
I know, and he needs to realise that. Like, why does he keep denying it?
He didn't. I think that end, like, stuff with him is him being like, oh shit, yeah, you're right, I do like Lorelai, and then he sees her with Max, and that's why he gets into the pissing match, because he's like, he's just realised, yeah, actually maybe I do want to be with Lorelai, just as she's got back with Max.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's part of why he's going over there.
Yeah, it's just it took him so long to come to that realization.
They're both as bad as each other, though. Like, there are so many scenes in that where they are doing things that you're like, oh, you two are, like, obviously meant to be together.
Yeah,
and
like the
neither of you
scene
fucking
where
realise.
she goes to his at night and they're playing cards, and then they're like, oh, we'll have to kind of resume this game later.
Yeah.
That, or like, you know, the fact that she wants to kind of help him redecorate and all those sorts of things.
Yeah.
Yep.
The painting when they're on the floor behind the counter and they
Yeah.
both look out at like the people out, you know, outside trying to take pictures, stupid
Yeah.
Taylor, and like he's just such a freaking busybody, but like, you know, them peeking around, and it's like, oh my god, it's totally that like rom-com, like, oh, they're so adorable, and then of course they like
Yeah.
look at each other and like, I gotta go. You're like, no,
Yeah.
kiss, kiss, kiss.
And then bone on the counter.
Well,
Can we talk about, like, is it Max Medinas? Is that, yeah,
Yeah, Max Medina.
Max Medina, that's it. So we talked about, like, Rory and Dean. What do we think about Lorelai and her relationships?
Well, I mean,
Well, go on, man.
no, I was gonna say, because I mean, we've talked a bit about Lorelai and Luke, but you have Lorelai and Max, and also Lorelai and Christopher in this
Yes,
season.
Exactly. Yeah. I was surprised when she had the sex with Christopher.
Yeah?
It seemed very unlike her to just be like, let's bone on my parents' balcony.
Even though they said
Well-
this is the balcony where Rory was conceived.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was going to say,
it's like-
it seems very like her, seeing as that is what she did.
Yeah, no, but like, you would have thought, right, yeah, that's what she did 16 years ago. You would have thought maybe she'd have kind of progressed in those 16 years to maybe not doing that.
No, but she has, because then she has the scene where she's talking to Rory about Christopher, and she's like, or when he tries to propose to her, and she's like, no, that
Yeah.
you're not ready for that.
Yeah.
Like, so that's the part of her that's grown. Like, Lorelai isn't mature in in every aspect.
No. She's
No,
not.
She's
no.
mature in the fact that she's like a really good mum and genuinely knows how to like look out for herself and her family, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like, she's learned to protect herself from the bad stuff like that, but she still makes stupid mistakes, like, you know, not making out with Luke, but making out with Max.
Like, I don't mind Max as a character, and I
He's just not as good as Luke.
exactly. That's the thing.
Yeah.
When it comes to, like, with Rory and Dean, I 100% do not want them together. Lorelai and Max, I'm okay with, if it wasn't for the fact that Luke is there and would be so much better.
Yeah. Well, I was watching some episodes last night with my mother-in-law, because she also loves Gilmore Girls, and
Yeah.
she knew I was like watching this to talk about it with you guys today, and she just kept like staying up later with me because she'd get sucked in. And I forget which episode it was, but you know, it was something with Lorelai and Luke, and both of us were just like, oh, they're just so perfect for each other. Like,
Yeah.
they're so perfect for each other. And yeah, that's the thing with Max, is I like him as a character, and I like Scott Cohen as like the actor who plays him. He's
Yeah.
in one of my like all-time favorite mini-series. He plays Wolf in The 10th Kingdom.
Okay.
Oh, does he? Oh shit, I love the 10th.
You do? Oh my
Yeah,
god!
I used to watch that all the time.
I have the DVD and I love that so much. Sorry.
Such a good show.
Sorry, Liam. I'm gonna nerd out for a minute. Yeah, he plays
Go
Wolf.
for it.
He plays Wolf in that, which is
Oh, shit.
first saw him in the 10th Kingdom, because I didn't start watching Gilmore Girls until it was in like its 5th or 6th season, and then I like binged it all
Yeah.
and like caught up. But so when he showed up in season 1, I was like, oh, it's Wolf. Oh my god. And so yeah, like I think he's a good character, and I think he's like really trying, like with Rory too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And okay, you have to admit, when Rory's dealing with the breakup and she's gone to the party, the Chilton party, and Lorelai goes over to Max's, and when they are like, he's like, okay, you sit there and I'll sit here and we'll talk. And then he's just like, screw it, and he knocks that table over.
Yeah.
That is hot.
I mean, that wasn't my take on the scene, but I can see why you would think that.
Or you just like, this should be Luke.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
If Luke was more assertive like that, I think Lorelai would be all about it.
yeah.
I mean, the weird thing with the Max character is that, like, he's done that the same thing that Christopher was trying to do with the whole, like, oh, we keep making mistakes and falling out and arguing, so the solution is we should get married. And I was like, no, what? That's fucking weird.
No,
That is a weird thing.
That is because hers is like, well, then we break up, which is like the logical
yeah
way to handle that. Not.
And he's like, no, we need to get married. Oh, no, you don't.
Because
I was kind of almost disappointed when he sends the 1,000 daisies, is it?
Yep. 1,000 yellow daisies.
Yeah, and then she just loves that, and I was like, no, don't stop. He's not right for you. He's not Luke.
I think part of it is it's such a grand gesture, and that he listened and then followed through on something that was just, one of her Lorelai bit rants where she's just like, it should be this and this and this and this, and then he actually does it. Which, fun production note, because I've, of course, watched, all the extra features on the DVDs that I own.
Of course.
Because I do own them all, and I sometimes watch the DVDs, and sometimes watch it on Netflix. It just depends on my mood. And they had to get way more than 1,000 yellow daisies for that scene in the inn, because apparently daisies are a very small flower, so when you just put 1,000 together, it only fills up a table. And so they were saying it's 1,000 yellow daisies, and the line that Kirk says no less, no more, that's exactly it. It's a very grand gesture and a beautiful thing, but for production design they needed it to look like an overwhelming amount of daisies.
Yeah.
So there's way more than 1,000. It's 20,000 or something. But I think it's more of the big grand gesture, and that he listened to her. Not
because that's the thing, I couldn't, as much as I think Luke and Lorelai should be together, I couldn't see Luke doing something like that.
No, because he'd do something that was
he'd fix her house.
Yeah,
that's really sweet that he keeps doing that.
I mean, it was, but also when you realise it was because he was avoiding Rachel, it becomes a little less sweet.
Slightly, yes.
Yeah.
I will concede that.
But he's also then spending time with the person he truly loves.
That is true.
Yeah.
So, for characters that I was less fond of, I didn't really... I liked what they were doing in establishing the town, but Miss Patty and who's the other character that just kind of pops up as their neighbour?
Yes.
Shit.
Played by Sally Struthers.
Yeah.
I
didn't mind them, but I wasn't I don't know, I don't quite get them yet, I don't think.
I think the neighbour I'm more on board with the neighbour than Miss Patty. I like Miss Patty, but some of her character things they're doing, I'm a bit oh, okay, it's...
Yeah.
I don't know.
Miss Patty, I will agree, she gets on my nerves sometimes.
I think she works the amount they use her. Please, I don't use her anymore. But equally...
Yeah.
I'm not a huge fan of what they're doing with her.
Because I think she was supposed to be a main character at first. Miss Patty. As I know she was in a lot of the production shots for the season 1 to start out.
Okay.
But yeah, it's still, every time I watch it, when she says the thing about oh, I'm one of Rory's mothers, so it's I'm your wife, Christopher. I'm just oh, Miss Patty, gross.
Yeah, that bit was weird.
Yeah, but so Sally Struthers as Babette, I have a soft spot for Babette. And how she's always calling people sugar and things like that. I just love it.
I did the episode with is it kitten or cat?
Their cat, Cinnamon's Wake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, I don't mind them. I'm just not as crazy for them as I am with some of the other characters.
Okay. I mean, I get that. They're more side characters.
Yeah.
What about Lane?
Lane's the one that I think both me and Jack have almost the biggest issue with.
Yeah.
And that I feel she's Korean, we get it. That doesn't have to be mentioned every time we see her.
It's not. So my issue with it is this show feels like it does a really good job of not stereotyping people and falling into those the fact that you've got a single mother raising a single daughter, and instead of them being oh, and it's all fucked up and they don't know what they're doing, it's no, Lorelai's got this really good job and Rory's turned out great and is one of the smartest kids. And then you go to Lane and it's she's the stereotypical Korean kid that doesn't want to be with the strict Korean parents.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I can see that as a criticism. I love Lane, but I think part of that could also be more from later seasons.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sort of assuming I'm hoping it'll, like, it's not even like that big an issue. Like, when I look at how much I love this show, it's not like every time Lane comes on screen, I'm like,
I think
oh
it's just
my
like,
goodness.
of all the characters that have, like, if you split up the screen time that all the characters get, she probably is the character that I like the least with the most screen time, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Like, I like her friendship with Rory. I just feel like they need to move away from the, like, Korean gag, because I just think it's overplayed already. Okay.
I mean, I think part of it is her mother being a very strict mother, and having that like strict religious thing with the 7-day Adventist is definitely key to her character. So I don't know. I'll just be interested to see what you guys think about Lane as like time goes on with the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I feel like as well, like a lot of the characters, even side characters, they develop somewhat, whereas Lane, I don't think after a season, I'm really seeing a lot of different sides to her that you didn't see in maybe the first couple of episodes.
Yeah, I think that's fair with season 1. My favorite moment of hers is when Rory goes to get a CD and you see all of her hidden floorboard CDs.
Yeah, yeah.
I think my favourite moment with her is when Rory asks her to go into the shop to figure out if Dean's still there, and she's like, oh, what, so you can make on that little list that you don't think I know about what days you can go in.
Yeah.
I like the scene where where her mum's like grounded her, and then Rory and her meet outside the house, and she's like, oh, you've been allowed out, and she's like, oh, well, I'm allowed to come up to the sign, and then looks at the sign and is like, oh no, and steps back.
Yeah, when she's like shocked that she got that close to the sign.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's a great little bit of acting. Yeah.
So is there anything that anyone like didn't really like about the show?
Lorelai and Luke didn't end up together in season 1.
Yeah.
I have a small criticism that I think it's in episode 3 that Richard is talking about Lorelai the Third, and he's talking about her in the past tense. And it's just a small little like continuity thing that I feel like maybe they didn't realize they were actually going to get like the character of Trix on.
Yeah. Who was a great character.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Marion, I think it's Marion Davies who plays her, like, is just fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's like my only, like, I guess big critique is particularly, I think it was episode 3 that, like, even the directing in that episode, like, you know, and granted, I've seen the whole series multiple times, but it feels like the director on that one, who was actually, I thought it was interesting, was Adam Nimoy, as in, like, Leonard Nimoy's son.
Okay.
Oh, right.
Yeah. And I feel like he was doing something that just doesn't fit in with the rest of the series. With his direction of, like, the dinner scene at the Gilmore house. Like, with Emily and Richard. It's like, the lighting's just a little off. And, like, how tight, like, close up the shots are. It doesn't fit with the rest of the dinner scenes from the series. Even, like, the episodes before and then the episodes after. I know that probably sounds, like, so, like, nitpicky and weird.
No, I no, that's fine. I can't say I noticed it when I first watched it, but I wonder, like, if I was to go back, if I'd pick up on it.
Yeah.
Now, because I guess 3 episodes in, I wasn't quite used to the way it was being filmed.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, by episode 3, you're not as used to it.
Yeah.
But
because I actually quite liked episode 3 just for the way it did develop that relationship between Rory and her granddad.
Oh, yeah. All of that part is great. The only thing that, like, it's like some of the way direction-wise it's filmed and, like, that past tense about Lorelai the Third. But I love the golf outing between Richard and Rory.
And when he's, like, showing her off to his friends.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And her little golf hat.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's so cute. Yeah. And I think there's some great, like, comedic bits in that episode, too. Like, with even like Lorelai dealing with things at the inn. And that's when you get like Kirk with the swans and things like that, which I think is maybe the first time Kirk is actually Kirk in the show.
Yeah. Because he appears, but he's not named, is he?
Yeah, he appears in one of the earlier episodes and is given a different name. I think they call him Mick. It's one of those like trivia things. I should say I've gone to a local Gilmore Girls trivia night and won first place with my friend Andrea.
That's impressive.
One of my college roommates. She and I went and we called our team the Rorys and we won. And we got a little trophy and everything. But but yeah, funny about that, they forgot to put the Gilmore Girls label on it, and so it says Mad Men instead.
Oh, right.
But
I'm surprised that Suki hasn't been brought up yet.
Yeah, that's true. She's like the biggest star of the whole show now.
Yeah. But how did that happen?
What do you mean?
Well, I don't know. It's just, considering she's not playing a main character, it seems weird to me that someone who played a side character has gone on to do huge things.
Well,
not a bad thing.
I think it's because Melissa McCarthy, her big breakthrough as far as like movies wise was Bridesmaids.
Yeah.
But I love her as Suki. What do you guys think about Suki?
Yeah,
I really like Suki.
Yeah, I haven't been like a huge fan of when I've seen her in movies. I like the stuff she's done on Saturday Night Live recently.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I was almost surprised at how much I liked her in this, because she seems to play a very different type of role to what you see her do in the movies.
Yes.
Although I think the first episode, I was concerned that they were going to really play up that whole she's a klutz, she's really clumsy, she trips over a lot, that angle. It's real, I don't know, it's kind of too broad in the first episode, and I'm pleased that they drop or like mostly drop that aspect of her going forward.
Yeah, I think that's a fair critique of that. She was not originally supposed to be Suki. The woman who plays Drella, the harp player.
Oh, yeah.
Let me double check her name. Alex Borstein. And she does a voice for Family Guy.
Okay.
And she like couldn't, get out of that. She voices the mom, Lois, in Family Guy. So like timing and schedule wise, because I think she was also doing Mad TV, like she couldn't do Gilmore Girls, so they like had her play Drella in a few episodes, but she was originally supposed to be Suki.
Okay.
And so I wonder if part of that was kind of left over from like the original idea of the character or something, like the super clumsiness or whatever. But I love like the development with Suki and Jackson throughout the first season.
Oh god, they're so great together.
They are good.
One of my
no, go on, Amanda.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I was just gonna say I love when she's chasing him down the street.
Yeah, what's his cousin called?
Rune.
He's great. I'm so pleased that he came back for another episode, just because
that whole episode where he's just insulting Lorelai in the weirdest fucking ways.
Yeah,
he's just like, oh god, she's so tall, it's horrible. And you're like, what?
He's like, what size shoe do you wear?
And he like says something about like she'd have to use a lot of powder to fix her nose and things like that.
Yeah. She goes, oh, can we just go powder our noses?
It's so good.
Uh-huh. Oh my god.
It's just such a weird...
Yeah, he's just so like... Cause, like, Lauren Graham is brilliant and beautiful, and for someone to just come in and just be so mean about like her appearance is hilarious.
Uh-huh. And he's just... Like, even when he's like, Jackson, I want to go bowling. Like,
yeah.
You're like, oh my god, you were the worst.
Yeah. He's just a horrible person.
Uh-huh. Oh, Rune.
We had some correspondence about Gilmore Girls that I want to get to, because I want to discuss it. I want to have time to discuss it properly. So,
okay.
Cage Club Pod, who...
Oh, God. I saw this one.
Yeah, who they like host the Zack Attack show. like their network hosts that and other shows about Nicolas Cage and stuff. Anyway, they tweeted saying, how much better would Gilmore Girls be if Zac Efron played Alexis Bledel's love interest? Now, I think we all know my answer. So I'm going to throw it to you guys. Because bear in mind, we're talking about like 2000 Zac Efron.
Okay, so I think we also had some correspondence from Kat, Liam.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Let's just do this one first. You haven't answered the question yet.
I'm worried, mate, that you're wanting this to be more than it's going to be. And I don't want to disappoint you like that.
What do you mean?
Well, I'm worried that you think this is going to be a really big discussion. What with the whole, like, I wanted to leave enough discussion for this.
No, I want to leave enough for the cat bit.
Oh, okay.
I'm covering
fine.
this first.
It wouldn't be that good.
I mean, so Zac Efron, fun fact, was born the same year as me. He's only like, hang on. He's 2 months and 3 days older than I am. So that's a fun fact.
So he would have been what, like 13 in 2000 or something?
Exactly. So I don't see that working brilliantly.
Nope, there you go. That's fair.
But I just imagine if Zac Efron had a pet. Okay, here's how I'd have included him. I thought Dean's little sister was amazing. He could kind of do something with her, I think.
So he would be the love interest for Dean's little sister.
Yeah.
That would make more
imagine,
sense.
Like, they have like this perfect relationship, and they're just constantly like, why can't these guys just figure their shit out? Then we had an email from Kat.
Go on.
Oh, so bit of context. Every time I put Gilmore Girls on, Kat would roll her eyes and sigh loudly, and then half watch the entire episode. And she'd sometimes make snide little comments. Sometimes she'd laugh. Sometimes she was getting into it, but she'd never admit that. Her email begins, here's my issues with Gilmore Girls. It's a 5-point email. If we go through, we can discuss each point one at a time.
Okay.
Point number 1. The dialogue is not at all natural, even a bit. They talk a million miles an hour, much worse than Dawson's Creek, Liam. Because every time she's complained about this to me, I've gone, you like Dawson's Creek, and they talk so much worse than in this.
My defense is that's how I talk with my family.
There we go then. I can't argue with that,
it's
Kat.
All pop culture references constantly, and if someone doesn't get it, we mock the other one.
I personally had no issue with the dialogue and thought it was brilliant, and I didn't necessarily think it was not natural. Jack?
I can sort of see what Kat means, like, in the context of Lorelai being so quick with her witty responses to things.
Yeah.
But also, I don't think it's an issue. Like, it's a comedy, drama-y TV show.
Okay. This next one is gonna... I can't wait to hear Amanda's reaction to this next point that Kat has. Number 2. What sort of mum sleeps with her daughter's teacher, though? Lorelai is a terrible mother, to be honest, and leans way too much on Rory.
Okay. My mom never slept with one of my teachers. I'll just put that out there.
Yeah, that's what that sounded like you were saying there, Liam. Can I just...
No. I was curious for Amanda's reaction, just because I feel like she's going to have the most impassioned defense.
I think Lorelai's a great mom. Part of it is she reminds me a lot of my mom. Like, the age difference between us is not 16 years, but it's only 19 years. And, okay. I mean, a lot of the mother-daughter moments feel incredibly genuine to me.
Yeah.
And even... sometimes the silly spats like, if you wear my sweater, you'll stretch it out because your boobs are bigger, may have had similar discussions with my mom in high school. So, I don't know. To me, Lorelai, yes, she can be immature and a bit selfish, but I don't think... to me, like, I think she's a great mom, and I don't think she's a perfect person, but, you know, I guess the way that she does rely on Rory, I guess you could see as dysfunctional, but I guess I have a dysfunctional family, and I don't think it's to the point of, like, codependency, but...
No. Oh, I don't know, there's definitely moments, like, when Rory's like, so what are you going to do when I come to college? It's like, I'm just going to come with you and sleep on your floor, obviously.
Yeah, no, but she's joking, Liam.
Yeah, I'm aware of that, Jack. But I'm just saying...
Well, you say that, Liam, like you haven't said weird stuff before because you don't understand how humans think.
Whatever. it's not codependency necessarily, but I do think that she's gonna struggle without Rory.
Yeah, I can see that. Like, you know, when that's your person for so long, and yes, you're the mother,
Yeah.
but yeah.
And she has like sacrificed a lot, where she's like, I put all my dating and stuff aside so I could just focus on the mother thing.
Mm-hmm.
But also, did anyone else have issues with the fact that Lorelai got with her daughter's teacher?
So it's, I mean, it would be a weird thing if it was like super planned out,
Yeah.
but it's not. It's like a spur of the moment thing, and I don't think Lorelai's like, oh, whatever, I'm just gonna sleep with him. Like,
Yeah.
I think she regrets it, like, initially.
I think it's more for him, like that, like he's jeopardizing his career, but it's kind of he's made that choice, so it's I put it on him.
Yeah.
Well, he's the one that pursues her.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I mean, she knows it's
Go on.
inappropriate, and they bring it up and talk about it several times throughout this season.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And he even gets like disciplined, doesn't he, for it at one point?
Yeah, Headmaster
Yeah.
Charleston brings him in and chews him out. I
Yeah.
mean, off screen, but you hear about the aftermath.
Exactly. Love the scene when Lorelai has a go at the headmaster.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That's so good. Point number 3. Chad Michael Murray's character development is confusing. 1 minute he's a prick, the next you're supposed to feel sorry for him, and then, oh no, he's a prick again.
Who is that?
Tristan.
Oh, okay. I don't think you're ever meant to feel sorry for him. I think you're meant to
no,
understand part of him.
The scene where he breaks up with Summer, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but even then, I don't think you're meant to feel sorry for him. I think you're meant to just have a bit of empathy towards him, where you're like, this dude's only goal in life appears to be to bone down with everyone.
Relatable.
For you. And then, like, he has this moment where something genuine happens to him, where he feels genuinely hurt that a girl's left him. I don't think you're meant to feel sorry. I
Quite
think you're meant to be like,
publicly as
oh, okay,
well.
I get it.
Yeah.
I think part of the thing is that he's a dick, and
Yeah.
he tries to play the nice guy to win over Rory
Yeah.
because he sees that, like, that's what she liked about Dean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but it's all pretense because he's actually a dick.
Yeah.
And so to me, he just is a dick, and it's all an act for him to try to win over Rory. And then when he gets tired of it, he's like, PJ Harvey tickets.
Yeah.
Exactly. We've got to bear in mind that these criticisms are coming from someone who has only half watched maybe half of the season.
That's fine, though. You're allowed to have an opinion.
Yeah, and
You are, but it's also allowed to be wrong.
Yeah.
I like you, Kat, and I understand if you don't like the show. It's still my favorite show.
Yeah. Point number 4. Why don't Lorelai and Luke just get together? Their BS is boring, which I don't think it's boring at all. I do agree they should get together.
The sentiment behind the point I agree with. I want them to just get together.
Yeah.
But, yeah, the second part, not so much.
No. And then point number 5. Despite my impassioned points, this show is dumb.
Well, that one I disagree with.
Yeah, I disagree with
I
that.
think that point is dumb.
Very good, Liam.
Thank you. And then here's my question about Gilmore Girls. And I kind of agreed with her on this question until the last episode, where it's actually addressed in the show. So Kat asks, who the hell is the exposition guy who sings and plays guitar? I'm surprised he hasn't dated Lorelai.
I love the troubadour so much.
Right, so he just appears like midway through the season, right? With no kind of explanation. He just shows up and starts singing.
Yeah.
And until the last episode, I was like, I don't get what they're doing with this guy. And then the fact that they address it in the town hall, and you also have Dave Gruber-Allen, who plays the second troubadour, who I obviously love from Freaks and Geeks.
Yeah.
That to me just kind of excused the troubadour guy being in all of the other stuff. Like I was like, it's fine, I'm cool with it. I like that they're calling it out. I like what they've done with that.
Yeah, I love Grant Lee Phillips and the troubadour, and yeah, I love that in the world of Gilmore Girls, like, stuff like that happens. And it's part of the charm of Stars Hollow.
Yeah.
And its quirkiness.
I really want to go to Stars Hollow and just live there. Mm-hmm. Like, so is there anywhere where this is kind of based off of that I can go to and move in?
I mean, it's based in Connecticut.
Okay.
And I'll admit, when I was driving through Connecticut for the first time ever a couple of years ago with my husband, every, like, Every exit we drove by, I was like, that could be where Stars Hollow is based on. And I am misremembering right now. I know it's like loosely based on like a town that Amy Sherman-Palladino and her husband like visited in Connecticut, but I don't know. I can't remember if like the name of the town has been released that they based it on. I think it was just more of like they had this idea and then they liked sort of like this idea of a quirky town. You know, they had the idea of like the mother-daughter thing and then the idea of the quirky town. And I know when the new series was coming out, like the Year in a Life, they created Stars Hollow in Hollywood that people could go and visit for a little while, like as promotional stuff.
Okay, but you couldn't move in there.
No, you couldn't move in there.
Liam,
Yeah.
I don't want you to get your hopes up, buddy, because it's already difficult enough for you to find a place to live. You're not going to find a Stars Hollow.
Well, not in this shit country, no.
Okay, well, I don't think you're going to find one anywhere.
Well, no, because I was saying it would be really fun if me and Jack moved to Stars Hollow, like whatever, like the real Stars Hollow together, because I could see that as being like either the start of a sitcom where it's like, oh, you know, this quirky couple kind of move in and shake things up.
Sorry,
Or
this
we
quirky
just-
couple?
You know, couple of guys.
Right, okay.
Or-
Be clearer.
Or it could be like a good episode where it's like, oh, who are they who's just moved in? Let's go find out.
Jesus, Liam.
No? You're not down with that
Sort
idea?
your life out.
What do you mean?
I don't know.
Good.
It was just a thought.
No, because you want to move there as well, right?
I would, yeah, but it's not real.
You know, but it's got to be based on something that's real.
That doesn't... Yeah, but it's not going to be what you're picturing.
What am I picturing?
You're picturing Stars Hollow.
Yep.
It'll be a place that it was based on, and you'll go there, and it'll be just the same bullshit you get everywhere else.
Luke won't be there. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, sure, Liam.
Has anyone got anything else to say about Gilmore Girls Season 1?
I love it.
No, yeah, it's great.
What would we all give it out of 5? I think Amanda, I'm going to guess, will be a 5 out of 5.
Yeah, so I was thinking about this earlier today. And I feel like maybe like 4 3/4 out of
Okay.
5. Because I do love this first season, but it's not my favorite season of the show.
Okay. So, for us who haven't watched it yet, we've got better seasons to go. Is there any, like, you know, like Buffy, there was a season where it didn't quite work what they were trying to do.
Yes.
Does this suffer from any of that?
There is a season that is like that.
Okay.
And do you want me to tell you which season it is, or do you want to wait until you watch more?
Let's wait and see if we can figure it out. When we like catching up with you, and you're kind of finding out what we think, we'll see if we just discover it together.
Okay. Yeah, because it had much more to do with creative things behind the scenes, I think.
Oh, was it when
okay.
the writer's strike was happening? Or
No.
was that after this had finished?
That was just after this finished.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, we'll see if we can spot that then. Jack, out of 5?
4.5.
And I would agree with that.
Yeah. Because
We agree.
it's great,
Yay.
but you do have better seasons coming.
Cool.
Awesome.
I mean, that's good, because this was an amazing season, so...
Yeah. Next time. What are we doing next time?
Next time, it's going to be our Halloween episode. Ooh, spooky.
Spooky.
So we're doing The Conjuring.
Yay! I've seen it before.
Have you?
Yeah.
I have not.
I've done a sequel to it.
The Conjuring 2, Too
Yeah.
Fast, Too Furious.
I haven't seen that one yet. Oh, speaking of Fast and Furious, I think I mentioned this earlier when Amanda mentioned it, but I forgot. Have you heard the latest news about Fast and Furious?
The fact they're doing a live show?
No, that's not news. That's been out for ages.
Oh, okay.
It's
Sorry.
coming to the UK in like January, I think, is when it starts.
Yeah, they keep advertising it at the cinema.
Yeah, I want to go, but I've got no one to go with.
Yep, I'm not going with you.
Vin Diesel filmed like a special little part for the live show.
Oh, wow. What's the news?
So a release date for Fast and Furious 9 has been announced, and it's going to come out in 2020. And the reason why it's coming out a year later than what was expected is because the year before that, so 2019, we're getting a spin-off with The Rock and Jason Statham.
Yes!
And
Yes!
Tyrese is livid.
Well, sorry, Tyrese. You can calm down. This is all you have.
Yep. I'm very excited.
I agreed with all of your conversation about that recently with the guys from the Zack Attack, by the way.
Well, that's good. I mean, I feel like Jack didn't have a lot to say on that conversation.
I don't watch Fast and the Furious.
He's an idiot that doesn't watch the Fast and
They're
Furious.
ridiculous, and the first 3 movies are not good, but then they get better.
I like Tokyo Drift.
That's the third one.
I like that one.
I didn't mind it. The second one's my least favourite.
Yeah, it's bad.
So yeah, The Conjuring next. Halloween, spooky. We did that. Tick. Any final thoughts?
What number are you on?
What was it last time?
Just loading it up now, Liam. Oh, not on the Nerd on Nerd account. That's annoying. The number last time was... It was... I should have got this up earlier.
Yep.
Oh, need to sign out of all my other Google accounts. So that I can
The
open it.
anticipation.
Thanks, Google. Do I have to retype the password in?
Oh,
No,
for
it's
fuck's
remembered
sake.
it. Good. Oh, choose an account to use with Google Drive. Yep, the Nerd on the Nerd one. That would make sense. The number last time, Liam, was 1,116.
1,103.
Wow.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And bear in
doing
mind,
it,
I
buddy.
watched Flatliners as well, which was digital, so that didn't count. And I watched 2 movies on Netflix, so those also don't count. So it's been good for movie watching these last couple of weeks.
Yeah, no, you're doing all right.
That's impressive.
Thank you very much. I still think if I really try, I can maybe get below 1,000 by the end of the year.
I think you probably can. I want you to.
Yeah.
Well, it would be nice, but we'll see.
Oh, yeah, there's a Criterion sale in November.
I can't. I can't afford it.
Okay, good. Sorry.
He's learning, Amanda.
I know, it's May and November every year, so...
Yeah, I spent too much in the May one, I think.
Final thoughts. Oh, no. What? We don't do final thoughts. You confused me by saying that. Amanda,
Yes.
how can people get in contact with you?
Oh, yeah, that. Well, my personal Twitter is at Manda Ailey, and then I have 2 podcasts that I run, Amanda's Picture Show A Go-Go and Culture Pop A Go-Go. On Twitter, it's at Amanda's Pic Show and at Culture Pop A Go-Go, and then I have a website that encompasses it all, and it's amandaagogo.com. Let me say agogo 5 more times.
So Amanda's, both of her podcasts are really good, and also she actually does the podcasting thing right and well, in that she has things like websites and stuff like that. So if you want to see how a podcast should be done, that's a good place to go and find out.
Oh, thank you.
Yep.
I wanted to also say thank you so much for having me on again. I love your guys' podcast, and it's always fun when I get to guest on it too.
Well, thank you for coming on, and especially for recommending the Gilmore Girls.
Yeah. Good choice.
Yeah. And if Kat wants to come on again, she can. She just has to come up with something that is as good as, if not better than, Gilmore Girls. So good luck with that one.
I'm sorry, Kat.
Liam, how do people get in contact with us?
Oh, they tweet us. It doesn't matter. They're not going to. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Tweet us at Nerd on Nerd, facebook.com/Nerd on Nerd Pod, all one word.
They won't.
SoundCloud, that exists.
Yeah, they
iTunes, go there, review us.
they won't do
YouTube, you can go look at it. It's a graveyard.
There's no point.
You have an
Thanks,
email.
guys. Oh, email us at nerdonnerdpod@gmail.com.
Don't worry about it. There's no point.
I'm glad Liam's depressed. This is good.
Honestly,
Final thoughts?
Final thoughts is I think we should stop giving out our Twitter and our email and stuff, because the people that are gonna tweet and email
Rate
us
and
do it
review them on iTunes.
Nah.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.